there have been many things written about Jesus and about how the composition of the Gospels and how they present him. But there was one that I read a long time ago, and it was the thought-provoking questions and the challenging questions that Jesus asks his disciples. And so the question in today's gospel is I think, essential for everyone, and it is indeed challenging for us to respond to. First, he asked the disciples, "Who do other people say that I am?" This would be hearsay. Now, great crowds followed Jesus, and I'm sure that the disciples, mixed among them, would have heard a lot of different people commenting on who they thought Jesus was. Well, that's one way to investigate. But then Jesus asks them directly, "And who do you say that I am?" This question would be directed to each and every one of us. In our lives, we may not be able to formulate a theologically great response, but our lives will respond. Who do we say that Jesus is? Does he have any authority in helping us to determine how we live our lives? His teaching about loving, about serving, about being merciful, extending ourselves to other people. Our lives will describe what it is that we believe. He calls us to himself, and he gives us the grace to see his presence in our lives. Today we celebrate the feast of two wonderful martyrs, Saints Cosmas and Damian, the patrons of medicine and of pharmacy. And every year up at Duquesne, and I think it was the Dean Bricker who started this, and it may have been even his predecessor, but every feast of St. Cosmas and Damian, they invite the pharmacy school to come and to take on all the different tasks of the Mass, and all the students come in their white coats. Looking to this, and there's a big statue of the saint in the lobby over there at the pharmacy school at Duquesne. And it is really to give an example on how to fashion your life. If you are going to enter into the school of medicine and the medical sciences, you could take as many different people or paths. But the dean wanted the students to take a look at their patron saint. Cosmas and Damian were twin brothers, and they ministered to everybody regardless of their faith background, and they refused to take money for their services. But their lives directed people to know and to follow Christ. And they were martyred. They were and their names appear in the first Eucharistic prayer. These are examples to us of how people will respond. Who is Jesus? The saints give us a clear example of how important Jesus is, and especially martyrs, that they would lay down their lives because of their deep faith in who Jesus is. But before their martyrdom, they demonstrated by love and by service that indeed he was king of their hearts. As we come to this Eucharist and throughout this day, in all days of our lives, we will be asked to respond to the question, who do you say that I am? May our lives reflect this deep faith that Christ gives us so that it may grow in our lives.